Hi all and welcome to today's tutorial on the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. What we'll be doing in this session is giving you an overview of the functionality of the tool and how you can use it to have more transparency on the projects, issuances, retirements, asset ownership, but also transactions of assets on the BEF platform. The key value of this tool is it enables users to provide external individuals concrete evidence of the actions you've taken on the BEF platform. This can include retirements, but also any transactions that you've completed on the platform. So let's kick off. What I'm on right now is the meta registry page, and I've searched for a specific project. Now, what I want to do is look at specific details on this project to help me find the right information I need to plug in to the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the View button right here. So now we're on the dedicated page for this project, which provides all the details on the project type, the standard and methodologies used, but also description, a map, and also you can see the number of units that the project has issued and the total number of units that have been retired. Now, if we scroll down to the bottom of the page, we can also see all the history of the issuances and retirements for that project. Now, what we want to do is learn more about a specific issuance. And for example, let's look at the issuance on the 13th of August 2021. And what I'm going to do is click this View button here. So now we can see the specific details of this issuance, including the issuer, the monitoring period, quantity, and so forth. Now, what I can also look at is any documents that were used to support that issuance decision. Now, if I want to look at this issuance in even more detail, what I can do is use this field here called the serial number. Now, what we're going to be using the serial number to do is to view the specific details of the issuance on the BEF blockchain. So what we need to do first is to copy this number here and then head over to the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. So now we're over in the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. I'm going to click on the Transactions button right here. Now, this transaction search functionality enables you to search for any transaction that has occurred on the BEF blockchain. So in this case, we want to look at the transaction associated with that issuance. So what I'm going to do is paste that serial number into here and press enter. Now, what it will show me is all the blockchain level details of that issuance. And what this is useful for is to provide a complete concrete proof of that issuance and when it occurred and the total number issued. So here we can see high level information, including the transaction ID, the timestamp, so when it occurred, the block hash, which is kind of its identifier, its unique place where it's stored on the blockchain, the number of confirmations, which show how many times that transaction has been audited and verified. The higher the number of confirmations, the better. And also you can see the genesis. So this is the anonymized account holder who did the action, alongside other factors as well, such as the digital signature to support that transaction, but also you can delve even deeper into the specific contracts as well. Now, you can also use this tool to search for other transactions. This could be retirements, it could be actual transactions between two different users or transfers of environmental assets on the BEF platform. So let's do an example of this with a retirement. So first of all, I'm going to clear this search and I'm going to go back to the BEF platform to look at a specific retirement. So now I'm back on that project's dedicated page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down again to the bottom and I'm actually going to look at this specific retirement. So in this case, it was on the 16th of August. You can see the assets that were retired, so the vintage of those assets, which corresponds to the August the 13th issuance, the number retired, but also the retiree. So I'm going to click on the View button here. So now I can see the specific details of the retirement. So as with the issuance, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this serial number here and copy it, then head back over to the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. So I'm back on the transaction search page and I'm again going to paste the serial number, then press enter. Now what we can see now is the specific details of that retirement on the BEF blockchain. So again, we can see the transaction ID, which corresponds to the serial number, the timestamp, the block hash, but also if we delve deeper, we can see the contract. So we can see that actually the total amount retired, so it's 20 units. You can see it was a debit, so transferring those tokens out of circulation. And again, what you can use this for is to search for any transaction that you've completed on the BEF platform. And the beauty of this is it gives you a way to provide other parties, third parties, a way to audit transactions you've taken place and prove to other parties that you've done a retirement, for example, you've done a transfer. So that's viewing specific transactions. But what if we want to look at ownership of a particular asset? So let's first go back to the BEF platform to look at a specific asset which we can delve into. So I'm back on the page which provides the details of the specific retirement. But what I want to do is actually look at the ownership of this particular asset here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the name. As you guessed it, head back to the BEF blockchain tool to do some searches. So we're now back on the BEF blockchain explorer tool. And what I want to do is click this button here for environmental assets. You can also click this button in the header up here as well. But let's click environmental assets. So let's now paste the name into the search bar and press enter. What we can now see is the name of the asset, the date it was created, the total number issued, but also the number of owners of the specific asset. And in this case, we've got 3. Now to look at this in more detail, let's click the Learn More button. So now we can see an overview for this asset. And as we saw earlier, there are 3 account holders. Now, each of these account holders are anonymized, but we can see that one owns the vast majority of units in supply and another owns 4. We can also see the date at which these accounts were created. Now, we can also view the transactions associated with this account as well. So to do that, click the View Transactions button. So now we can see all the transactions that this particular account holder has done. We can see the retirements they've done, the debits and credits they've also done as well. Now, what we can do is actually view the specific details of each of these transactions. So in this case, we see that they've done a credit to another account on the 25th of August. So we can click the View More Details tab button to delve in deeper. And this takes us back to the transaction details page, which allows us to see the details of this specific transaction. So let's now look at the final feature of the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. So let's click on the Block Explorer button. So what this page enables you to do is search for and look for any block on the BEF blockchain. Now, the value of this is it enables you to do or provide further auditability and further evidence for the activities you completed on the BEF platform, because every single transaction is recorded in a block and each block is recorded on the blockchain and therefore can be searched on this page. So let's look at the most recent block, which is block 1540. I can click on the More Information button right here. And what this will do is show me all the information about this block, including the transactions that occur within it. So here we've got 2 transactions. We've got a credit and we've got an authorize. And if you wanted to look into these transactions in more detail, again, what you can do is copy and paste this transaction ID and then put it into the input field on the transaction search page. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the BEF Blockchain Explorer tool. The key value of this is it enables you to provide other people a way to audit and verify the claims that you're making. So if you've ever done a retirement or you've ever done a transaction, you can use this tool to provide concrete proof of that activity happening, which they cannot dispute.